Deadly shooting this morning on Indy's near South Side is marking a deadly milestone.
Less than halfway through the year, the city has now reached 100 total homicides.
No, that ain't a lot, that's a legion. 144K on the way and they pledge their allegiance to cremate these heathens. Damn, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Had to peel out this flesh cause I couldn't trust it. Got a spiritual body, you couldn't touch it. If you die in the test it, then try your luck. That's the one up, don't run up, get done up. Loaded clip full of scripts, I'ma pull it.
What was your first thoughts when you seen it?
First thing I thought was, oh, these guys is about to go off. Whatever they doing, this little collection, I didn't even know what's going on, but it looks so good, man. And I hear what he's saying, man. It looked like some spreading some goodness around there, at least some awareness type shit. That's what popped into my head. I was like, these guys are on that, and we need more of that.
The word is my weapon, the word is my shield. I'm equipped for these spiritual bullets. They shoot at the perfect in secret. Reading these laws, it ain't flaw, so I keep it. Shout out to bishops and shout out to deacons, captains and officers. I see the reason they say what we doing is treason. God body, God army, God nation, my oblation, broken spirit.
Hey, shalom, y'all Most High Christ bless, man. Another edition of Cuts from the Streets. And we in Indianapolis, Indiana. You know what I'm saying? What's your name, bro?
Chris, man.
Chris, man. So you from here, right?
Yeah, Boulevard area.
All right, cool. Did you see the men marching down?
Yeah, I just saw them, and my favorite color, purple, man. So, you know, I saw them walking, I was like, what y'all got going, man?
All right, for sure, for
y'all
sure.
handling business.
That's what's up. So what was your first thoughts when you seen it?
First thing I thought was, oh, these guys is about to go off. Whatever they doing, this little collection, I didn't even know what's going on, but it looks so good, man. And I hear what he's saying, man. It looked like some spreading some goodness around there, at least some awareness type shit. That's what popped into my head. I was like, these guys are on that, and we need more of that in my head.
That's facts. All praises. So, what's some type of things you see growing up around here, man? What's some of the things that you seen? Some of the bad stuff that you been seeing, man?
Man, it was a lot of fighting, a lot of shooting, a lot of car stealing, robbing, all that stuff, man. But nowadays, it seems like it's getting crazier. But over by where I live, it's a lot of older folks. And all that is shut down over there. So I know what it looks like. You know, that just have peace in the hood, like in the neighborhood type stuff. So what I seen, man, the negative stuff, man, it just keeps escalating, and it's wild to see it happening in real time. I'm 28. My birthday was 2 days ago, and I'm just like still in awe at how crazy some of this shit gets sometimes.
I liked it. I see a bunch of black men sticking together, young and old, coming together.
Right. So would you describe that as unity?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, because believe it or not, a lot of people in the media, they like to say that we are a hate group. Wow. Did that look like hate to you?
No, not at all.
Okay. Why do you think that they would call us a hate group? If you had to think about that, why would people describe us as a hate group?
Color of our skin. There's nothing else to it. You don't see nobody else in there with a different skin tone, so of course they're going to believe, oh, it's a bunch of black men, they hating. A bunch of black men, they walk around trying to do crime, trying to put everybody in it like they trying to really help, but they really not. And the whole time they really trying to do unity. So, yeah, I liked it. I just said that.
Okay. Good. Now, I got one more question for you. Now, as we've been going through the city of Indianapolis, right? Yeah. Do you all have a lot of churches, like Christian churches?
No, and I've been looking for some.
Y'all don't have any?
I see some, but it's like not on this side. It's like they don't care for the east side.
Let me ask you though, if you went to another area of the city, is there more churches?
Yeah.
Those Christian churches though, do you see them exhibiting what we're showing today? All these black men coming together in this unity and teaching like this?
Not really.
Are they hitting the streets and the ghettos?
No, not really.
Great army.
What you looking at was the army of God, an exceeding great army.
Magnificent. I'm so proud of y'all. I'm so happy you made. I'm telling you, my heart was broke, but y'all really, really made me feel so much better.
All praises to the Most High. That's the Lord.
What you think gonna change it?
What do I think is gonna change it? Man, everybody needs a certain level of self-accountability and some understanding. Because a lot of kids are ignorant out here, so they don't know what they're doing. But I think if you tell them what they're doing and that shit is like, man, do something else. You can do better easier than you can do bad.
Right.
But doing bad gets you more money.
Right.
But that goodness is a long game. And people ain't willing to play that long game and be good and righteous to people. And that's what I'm worried about, man. I think the thing that could change it is to get people individually to quit messing around, basically. You know, do your thing, but don't hurt people in the process, because that sets us all back.
Shalom, family. Most High Christ bless. Another episode, Cuts from the Street. We blitzing it out here in Indiana, Indianapolis, and right now we're at the Black Expo. So we're going to go over black economics, black communities, what's thriving right now. Hopefully somebody will get edified. Shalom. I'm here with
Angela Pway.
Angela Pway?
Yes.
Okay, so Miss Angela, tell us about your business. What you got going on over here?
So in 2020, I did a book drive geared towards all things black for black kids. I purchased books written by black people from black-owned bookstores, and I also got some coloring books. When I went to look for somebody who looked like me who made crayons, I couldn't find nobody, so I did it myself. This is Olivia. She has on a tiara that says U. That's Taj. He has on a crown that says R. And as the child opens up their box of crayons, they get a positive word of affirmation. You are valued, victorious, talented, dazzling, beautiful. Of course, black is the color, beautiful. And it's just all about representation and visibility. Not only did we do it for this box, we also have a vitiligo box because we want black kids who have vitiligo to know that they too deserve to be on a product and deserve to be seen. We're going to do albinism, autism, Down syndrome. So we want our kids to be able to go and see themselves on everyday products and know that they have value.
I like the message. I like what you're doing because imagery does matter. So now, being that we're out here at the Black Expo, Indiana Expo, I want to ask you a few questions about black-owned businesses. Can you name me, by any chance, just off the top of the head, could you name me anywhere from 3 to 5 successful black-owned businesses?
Yes. Here in Indianapolis, we have the Country Kitchen, which is an African-American restaurant. We also have a Jamaican restaurant that's very successful. My cousin, she owns a boutique. It's Paparazzi Ready. That is a successful business. And I know a few authors who are very successful. So we have our companies. It's just a matter, to me, of getting visibility for our people in mainstream media.
How long you been running your business, by the way?
I did the book drive. The book drive, pretty much, I just asked people for money and bought these books, and I gave them away. That was in 2020. When I couldn't find the crayons, I started that in 2021.
So you were saying 2020, 2021 it started increasing.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I started with just my crayons. I've gone to books now. I got a hair affirmation book for black boys and black girls. So okay. I just started that this year.
Okay. So do you have any advice that you would give to people, to blacks that's trying to start their own business?
Don't give up. No matter. I've authored numerous books. I've produced a musical. Our dollars matter. And we want to give back to our communities, no matter how hard it is. You might get funding, you might not get funding. I work full time as a respiratory therapist, and I invest in myself, and therefore people invest in me. I make sure I give the best product, and one thing I don't want us to do is price gouge. I feel like I have a good product, therefore I'm gonna spend and invest in it. But I'm not going to rob our people to make a sale.
We are here with IUIC TV. I'm Officer Joseph, here going to do a quick interview with
Dr. Tuesday Tate.
That's the Tuesday Tate?
Yeah.
Dr. Tuesday Tate, all right? So just to start off, just let us know, why are you out here at the Black Expo today?
Well, actually, I used to be employed by IBE. I've always supported IBE. Before I worked there, I was a volunteer, and I believe in what they do with this event, bringing the community together, entrepreneurs, families. So I've always believed in what they do.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Now tell us a little bit about your company here.
Well, I am ATK Realty.
And what does that stand for?
Advance the Kingdom Realty.
Advance the Kingdom Realty, okay.
Yes, brokered by Coldwell Banker Kaiser. So many moons ago, my brother encouraged me to go into real estate. I just didn't see how that lined up with preaching the gospel.
Okay.
And then a few years ago, just sought the Lord on what it is he would have me to do that could continue to advance his kingdom. And he said real estate. So I tell people I do land ministry, land of the heart, land of the dirt.
Okay, excellent. Now let me ask you a question. How do you see real estate advancing the kingdom? Describe that for us. Explain that.
Absolutely. That's a great question. Nobody's ever asked me that. Because God said he would give you houses you didn't build, right? And God is giving, there are 4 things God is giving us no more of: water, air, time, and land. And there's only one you can buy. And so it is his will, he said, that you prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prospers. One of the best ways for people to prosper is to be landowners. And then you get to build that generational wealth. We take care of our home, we keep our taxes up, you leave that home to somebody. Don't let big mama, grandmama sit in her house, not keep it up. She transitions, and when you could have sold it for $250,000, you're only able to sell it for $77,000. Because we let it sit and we didn't take care of it. So I encourage my homeowners to create estate plans. Who are you going to leave your house to if you transition? They can move into it or they can sell it and get the equity out and go do something else. But investing and buying a home is the best way to start building generational wealth.
All right, so that last piece that you said, you talked about intergenerational wealth a little bit. You kind of touched on that. What is the significance and the importance of that? Why is that something that we need to be focused on?
Well, God requires us to leave something for our children and our children's children. And we often live day to day instead of thinking about living for and setting up life for generational wealth and building it. We get our checks, unfortunately, sometimes they're gone before they're even in the bank. We don't, maybe not managing our income right, or not saving or investing, keeping our credit. So if you purchase a home and you have children and you say, I've been in this house 10 years, I have $20,000 worth of equity. I'm going to pull that $20,000 out. I'm going to upgrade my house, or I'll take that $20,000 and go put it on another house. And now I get to be the landowner, right? I get to be the landlord, and a good landlord. And then you get to start rental properties. And then you get to leave all of this wealth and building wealth to your children.
Why is it within the black community we'll rejoice and say, yeah, black businesses, but then when the price is a little too high, they're like, like as for example, your crayons, your product, I don't know the prices, by the way, but like, let's say it's about $5. They would say, hey, keep doing what you're doing, but I'd rather go to Walmart and get them for $1.99. Why is it that what happens in society, they'll encourage us, but meanwhile, they more so won't support as much? What would you say?
I think that's due to a lack of knowledge. If we knew how powerful we could be as a people by importing in and investing in each other, I think we go about things differently. And the difference between Walmart, Crayola, they do things for black people because another black person said you need to do this. I did it because I'm black and I couldn't go buy my kids them crayons. There was a need, and I'm fulfilling that need. Versus Mattel, who did the Black Barbie, who would never be the main character. They did it because somebody else said, we need a black Barbie. If I do a black doll, it's because I know we need a black doll because we're not getting the representation. Therefore, I don't mind spending money on our people. I just don't. I'd rather give it to you versus Walmart or anybody else, but that's my stance. Everybody got to make their own election.
Now I got a quick history question for you. Do you know a time when black people, they had our own businesses, banks, movie theaters, and what happened?
White people got jealous. And gentrification. I got my brand and protect your stuff. Because white people will come and snatch it up in a heartbeat. When I did my book drive, I purchased books written by black people from black-owned bookstores. I had to Google every author because 80% of the books written for our babies are not written by us. So you have to do your research. And if 80% of the books written for black people are written by white people, who getting the money? They are.
My last question now. How can we see another Black Wall Street? What do you think the steps that we could do?
We're doing that. I think we're doing that. Visibility. And when I first started my business, surprisingly, it was white people who supported me the most. And that's okay. Because money is green. I don't care who it come from. Keeping it real. But I think doing things like this here in the city, we have a young guy, he does Melanin in May. He also does the Black Party. These are venues where black people can come, spend their money, and show their product. I have a choice. If I go to a booth, not for me, I go somewhere else, you know. And that's how it starts, us investing in us.
Okay, I want to ask you, it made me think of something else. Okay, so what would you say about those who leave the faith out of it, but they are focused just on the wealth and the building of that wealth? What would you say that if you took that piece out? Are these and there are some people that believe that the building of that wealth for them is like having the kingdom. It's like having the kingdom now. Wealth is their way, they believe, to freedom and advancement in and of itself. What would you say about that?
Wealth is a mindset. What they're looking at is riches and money. And God said the love of money is the root of all evil. But he also said that money is useful for all things. So we can't just focus on the money because money comes and goes. You can get rich, but if you know how to gain wealth and you lose it, you can get it back. But a lot of people get rich quick. They don't know how to gain and keep wealth. But if you lose it and you understand what wealth is for, it's not just for you. It's to advance, and it's to grow, and it's to help. And if you give, it's going to be given back to you in good measure.
Okay, well spoken. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so tell us one more time what your name is.
Dr. Tuesday Tate of ATK Realty, brokered by Coldwell Banker Kaiser. Advance the Kingdom Realty. We're happy and home meet.
Dr. Tuesday Tate. All right, so as I said, there are two scriptures that I just want to pull that came to mind as it is that you were speaking, okay? The first one is pertaining to just how we ended up in the condition where a lot of our living, okay, is not owned by us. All right, that's why things like this, they are positive. Ownership is important. But the scripture does talk about how particularly our people, from our perspective and our understanding, ended up in the condition that we're in. So I want to read something. This is Deuteronomy 28, and I want to read verse 47 and 48. It says, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. It says, in hunger. So the Lord said that his people were going to have an enemy who they had to go to for hunger. Okay, that's like, for example, our people, the grocery stores that we go to, we don't typically own those. As we connect this to our reality, those grocery stores we don't typically own.
A lot of times we're not in our neighborhood.
Right, exactly. So it says in hunger, it says in thirst. When I look around and I look at that bottle of water right there that our people are drinking, we don't own the company that's providing that water. When I look at the water bill that we pay, we're typically not paying it to a company that what? We own, all right? So it's speaking of the condition of our people. So it says in hunger, in thirst, and in nakedness, all right? That's dealing with what? Clothing. When I look at the textiles or the clothing that we typically wear, even if it's a black-owned business, the material is typically not coming from a source that we own, okay, and that we operate ourselves, all right? Then it reads, it says, and in want of all things. So when I think about if I want a driver's license, who I gotta go to. When I think about if I want a house, who I typically have to go to. When I think about if I want a death certificate, just to die, right? Who is going to be able to certify that for me and supply that for me, right? So it says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. The destruction here, when we think about our people, a lot of times our thought is not ownership. That's indicative of an destroyed people. To be satisfied with always going to another, just for what? Our basic necessities. Renting. It could be just shacking up, right? This is what's going on typically when you look at our community. We are not the owners, we're the renters, okay? Just something I wanted to point out. The other scripture.
And 28 is all about obedience, right?
28 is about the curses that will be upon God's people for being disobedient.
Right.
That's what Deuteronomy 28 is all about. So we utilize that chapter to show who God's people are today. Because what Israel United in Christ teaches is that our people actually are the people of the book. That's what we believe. We believe that the prophecies and the curses of this Bible relate to our people today. And a lot of times we don't see ourselves in the scripture. But it takes the prophecy of the scripture for us to realize who we are. But one other scripture I wanted to pull was in Isaiah chapter 52, another prophecy. And I'm going to relate this to what you said too. These come from scriptures that came to mind as it is that you were speaking. Okay, so I want to go to Isaiah 52. And I want to read verse 3, okay? Because we talked about how some people, they leave the faith out, but they want to build the wealth. So Isaiah 52 and verse 3, it says, "For thus saith the Lord, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money." So a prophecy in the Bible was that our freedom and our liberation wouldn't just come solely from what? Trying to build wealth, from that pursuit.
And
all right?
It wasn't going to be bought by money, it was bought by Jesus' life. So money wasn't going to do it. Your wealth, your cars, your clothes, your degrees, it is through the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Because he was the payment, the full payment, the propitiation for our lives, to have eternal lives. And we miss that. We miss that in everything that we do. Whatever your faith is, you go for it. But mine is in Jesus. And I absolutely believe that when we serve him in our obedience, we gain whatever wealth he has for us. We're going to miss it. We're going to fall. We're going to flounder. However, if we do our best to seek him, and when we don't, and we fail, ask for forgiveness. He's faithful and just to forgive us and to cleanse us of all unrighteousness. I believe that.
All right, so now we're going to wrap it up, but we are a Bible-based group, so I would like to bring out maybe about 1 or 2 scriptures, if you don't mind. Is that cool? You believe in the Bible?
Yeah, I do.
All right. So, let me get, is it good? Let me get Joshua 1 and 8. So this is just a little piece of advice for how our people and our community, how we could relish, how we could thrive, how we can have good success. Because we all need that good success, but it starts with putting our faith in this. This is Joshua 1 and 8.
Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
So the Bible is saying we got to meditate on these laws day and night, and that's how we can have good success. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. One of my favorite Bible verses is Proverbs 16:3. Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be established. And that is my motto.
All right, Shalom family. So that's it. That's a wrap. I hope y'all liked it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Don't forget, like, share, comment, subscribe. And always remember, in order to have a successful black business, you gotta have the Spirit of the Lord on it. With that, we say Shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is